I think this past week started the good movie season. I mean, sure, Avengers Endgame did come out a couple weeks ago, but no one went to see that. So, on Julia's list of good movies that Julia wants to see, started with A Dog's Journey. Hello, I'm Julia from Nostalgia Studios, where we talk about your favorite things from your childhood. And today, we are going to talk about the new movie of one of my favorite books, A Dog's Journey. First of all, there will be spoilers for both the book and the movie, so just go and read and or watch them first. Also, they're just both really good, so I'll start with what I really liked about the book. And the first thing that I can say is the characters. Oh my god, the characters. Though mostly all the characters in the book had amazingly strong and solid personalities, I'm just going to focus on the main two. Gloria, the mother, is one of the most hateable characters I've ever read in a book. Being a teenager myself, seeing the way that Gloria treats CJ makes me extremely mad, and I love it. The best way to connect your readers into the story is to make them feel a strong emotion. That emotion can be happiness, sadness, anywhere in between, but I don't know a stronger emotion than hate, and it brings you right into the world of the story. As a polar opposite, CJ is strong and independent and extremely intelligent. I mean, I love my parents very, very much, but there's still something really satisfying about seeing a teenager talk back to their parent and being obviously right. Or it could just be satisfying because that said parent is Gloria. Did I mention how much I hate her? I think the movie pretty much captured CJ perfectly, and they even made her a bit more vulnerable on the inside, which isn't seen as much in the book. Gloria, on the other hand, I don't think was done as well. First of all, in the movie, she's physically in the story less. CJ moves out earlier, and you don't get as many of those heated arguments that I love so much. They also tried to give Gloria a redemption arc, which was a bad idea in my opinion. I can see where they're coming from to make her a more full, well-rounded character, but the audience loses that sense of hatred they have for her, and it turns into confusion because we never actually see why or when she decides to become sober and stop being an awful person, and that's completely off screen, so also, as we said before, they just didn't put enough of her in there. CJ doesn't, quite forgive her, which is great, but since we don't see as many of the awful things that Gloria did, it just makes it seem that CJ, the ultimate protagonist, is being mean and stubborn. One of the biggest changes from book to movie was keeping Ethan alive. Well, alive longer. And I really did like this idea. It was nice having him be the one to tell Bailey to protect CJ. And the scene when CJ finally comes home to the farm after all those years, oh my god, I was crying but smiling because it was just such a great and emotional scene. A change I really have mixed feelings about is the age of CJ when she adopts Molly. In the book, she is 17. In the movie, she is 11. Of course, it mentions in the book how Gloria left CJ home alone at a very young age, but actually seeing it on the screen, having her be that young age, really makes it sink in more. However, it is a lot more believable for a 17-year-old who can drive around to get food and supplies and stuff to be able to take care of a dog by themselves than an 11-year-old who probably never had any other pets before. A defining part of CJ's character in the book is her being anorexic. It doesn't provide a lot for the bigger plot at large, but it does add more depth to her as a character and show flaws in her otherwise confident persona. At the end of the book, when you hear that CJ spent her life helping kids with similar situations, shows how she's not letting her bad childhood influence and define her, but rather using the experiences and knowledge gained to help other kids. Also, including more adult concepts makes it have a bit of a different feel to it than A Dog's Purpose, where the main character, Ethan, is mostly younger than CJ when we see him in the story, though he too grows up and has his own set of teenage problems, like his so-called friend who set his house on fire. Speaking of mean teenage idiot boys, let's talk Shane. I did like the change that CJ is arrested at the party that Shane dragged her to, and not that art building thing from the book. There's also the confrontation they have when CJ tries to escape to, in the book, California, in the movie, New York. Shane is trying to threaten CJ into getting back together with him. In the book, CJ outsmarts him, managing to get away from Shane where both she and her dog are safe. In the movie, Shane just completely rams straight into CJ's car, making the car turn completely upside down, which neither girl nor dog would survive without any serious injuries, let alone a scratch, if they were the protagonists of this movie. Another big thing they added into the story for the movie was CJ's music career. Now, as far as I can remember, and it has been a while, the book doesn't have that in it. To me, it's great. I do think it works with her character, and also Gloria does music, bringing up an interesting concept that no matter how bad your parent is, you can't help but look up to them and follow in their footsteps in one way or another. A big but majorly insignificant part of the movie that they added in was a Big Dog. Basically, Bailey comes back one time as a dog called Big Dog, who is owned by a man who owns a convenience store. He sees CJ all of once and tries to follow her, but fails and spends the rest of his long life eating Slim Jims and wasting time while his girl needs him. Then there's the whole matter of Barry being CJ's boyfriend. Now, if you just watched the movie, you may think there's nothing weird about this at all and ends up being pretty insignificant. But if you read the book, if you did read the book, like I told you to, looking at you, then you know that Barry is an unhappy and hot-tempered client that CJ has for her dog walking career. And them being in a relationship was a change I did not see coming. Of course, I know a movie cannot be exactly like a book, and a lot of the changes they did for this movie were really good, and the story of A Dog's Journey, the movie, was a really good story, and you could really appreciate it, even if you did read the book. I will definitely watch the movie when it comes out on DVD, but I can in no way, shape, or form call it better than the book. Again, the book is one of my absolute favorites, maybe even a little more than A Dog's Purpose. Definitely read it if you're into a heartwarming story about a troubled but intelligent teenage girl dealing with mother issues, boyfriend troubles, and everything else life throws at her, while still having help from her furry little friend. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Make sure to like, share, and hit that notification bell. Next week, I'm going to be making a video on the new Aladdin movie, which I'm so excited for. So make sure you subscribe so you can see that when it comes out, and you can click over here to watch another one of my videos. See you guys next time. Bye!